and welcome back to yet another episode of VIPs in Action, Village Innovative Perinatal Support in Action, brought to you by R.O.S.E Breastfeeding of Atlanta and JMM Health Solutions. I am Dr. Joanne Michelle Martin, the founder of JMM Health Solutions and a pelvic floor therapist here in the metro Atlanta area. And I've been privileged to speak to so many birth professionals who have been a recipient of the R.O.S.E grant. And so this cohort has been absolutely amazing, doing things in and around their communities, in the perinatal spaces, providing for families, serving moms, serving birthing individuals. And it's just been really, really beautiful to speak to each and every one of them and to learn about what they're doing and how it's been such a blessing, especially in lieu of COVID, which is still going on even now. It'll be done one day, y'all, I promise. But today, our guest is, just as amazing as all the rest. And I'm slightly biased because she's a hometown girl, y'all. She's from Atlanta. I'm going to behave myself. I'm not going to be biased. But today I have with me Claudia Gonzalez from the Atlanta Doula Collective. So the Atlanta Doula Collective was established in 2018. It's a team of doulas, labor support specialists seeking to bridge the gap in Black maternal health care by providing affordable training, childbirth education, labor support options throughout the metro Atlanta area. They work to uplift and empower Black and Brown mothers and birthing people by the provision of this labor support, community outreach programs, support group platforms, and are working to shift the paradigm of Black maternal health disparities into a narrative of thriving Black and Brown maternal wellness and health. I love that. So tell us a little bit more about what you guys do, how you guys do it, how you guys have been able to do it. I just think that you guys are just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So we initially got started by offering, on-call doula services to women who were in labor. And basically, we would hand out our calendar of availability so that midwives can contact us and let us know that there was someone who was requesting services at that time. So that was offered for free, but we did also ask for like donations of $100 so that we could reimburse doulas for driving, travel, and also serving them in their labor. And then it kind of started to evolve more into offering a sliding scale service package where we offer 2 prenatal appointments, 2 postpartum appointments, and then we are also their labor attendants offering those support services during labor for about $650. So it really branched off from, our director creating this on-call doula calendar to wanting to offer a sliding scale, because we understand that sometimes there are people out there who can't really meet the financial needs of the full scale doula packages that doulas offer around the Atlanta area. And so how do we do it? We're still doing, good question. I don't know. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I think it all started with our amazing director, Sakisa Berry. I want to give her an awesome shout out. She deserves that. She kind of got us together and told us what her ideas were, and it really branched from there. But we're doing it. It's been a journey, but we're maintaining.
How have you guys been able to do it in COVID?
Oh,
the
gosh.
hospitals are shut down. We got, they're not letting doulas in. We got all sorts of stuff going on. We got masks, no mask, maybe a mask, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainties. So unfortunately, COVID did impact our on-doula calendar services. And so right now we're mostly offering the sliding scale services of $650 for those 2 prenatals, 2 postpartums, and the labor support services. And that is actually taking off because a lot of women are finding themselves actually wanting that support in labor. Now that they're having to stay home because of the pandemic, they're realizing how beneficial a doula actually can be for this particular time in their life. And so that part of our services are taking off. Will we get back to our on-call services? We're hoping to, but it really is just dependent on, the climate right now that we're in.
Yeah, it is tough out there. And I love the fact that you guys offer, I don't know how you guys do it. You got to be ready to go at the drop of a hat.
And a lot of us are, and that's the purpose of the calendar is, she would come to us on a monthly basis before the month would get started and say, hey, what is your availability? And it would basically go off that. And because we know that we're on call, we'll make sure that we don't get ourselves too deep into going to a birthday party or going 2 hours out of town. So we do have to make sure that we stay available when we say that we are available.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So you guys are doing a lot of workshops. So I mean, COVID has taken away a lot of the on-call services that you guys have, but you guys are still providing, I'm assuming, workshops and a lot of educational support. Tell me a little bit about that, and has that ramped up any because of COVID? Are you finding now that you're kind of pushing more towards that than you were before?
So before COVID started, we were doing a monthly kind of meeting, if you will, called Mama Talk, where we would kind of bring together current pregnant women or those who are newly postpartum, and they will be able to share their birth stories or their preferred birth experiences, and also share, that they had a doula or whether they didn't have a doula. Some of them had a doula for one birth, but one of them didn't have it for another birth, and so they would kind of compare their experiences and tell us like what differences it brought to have a doula present for them. So because of COVID, we actually turned that part of our Mama Talks virtual, and we offered that through Zoom. I think right now we're still offering that about every third Saturday of the month. And I know the last one we did was on holistic fertility. Um, I can't remember the exact title, but it did talk about holistic fertility and kind of ways to get pregnant on a holistic basis and things like that. So we have seen a lot of attendance because we've made it available nationwide. And so we're
Hmm.
seeing a lot of people coming in from like Chicago, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, kind of just chiming in because they're finding themselves again stuck at home, not a lot of people to talk to, and they also want to talk to other parents and new
Yeah.
mothers and people that they can relate to. And so we do see a lot more attendance because of that.
Wow. So Zoom has been great, huh?
Zoom has been, are you kidding me? Thank you. So like Zoom has been amazing. It has been amazing because, we're able to host, I don't know what the maximum amount of people that can be on one Zoom call, but, we can host up to like 20 plus people, and everyone can just kind of, whether their camera is on or off, sometimes it's off because, hey, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to get camera ready, but, at least they can chime in and talk to people who they, again, can relate to, whether it's because of the same culture or they're having maybe the same pregnancy issue or they're having the same pregnancy experiences or birth experiences. And so we're really bringing those moms together, and they're connecting. So, and we love that.
That's awesome. I love that. So how, so the pandemic comes, stops you guys from being able to be more active with the moms in person in the hospital. We've got some Zoom stuff going. We seem to have pivoted there. How has this grant from Rose helped to fund and fuel what you guys are already doing, all the amazing work that you guys are already doing within the community?
So this grant was truly amazing because what we did was create a pregnancy childbirth education series that is obviously virtual because of the pandemic and COVID. And what that has done for us is we are allowed to compensate our instructors so that we do not overwhelm ourselves with doing too much, I guess, volunteer work. And we understand everyone would love to get paid and get paid for the work that they love to do because we're super passionate.
Hmm.
And so that grant has allowed us to pay our instructors to do this 2-hour course and offer it for free. Okay, we're not charging a dime to anyone who registers, and not only that, but we're offering a postpartum gift to newly postpartum people or those who are still pregnant right now, and maybe they're going to give birth. We've had some people who like are supposed to give birth in like June, July, things like that. Excuse me. And so that way, as soon as they get into their postpartum, they have this postpartum gift that we're giving to them, that we feel is very beneficial for the postpartum healing stage.
Hmm.
But this grant has been amazing, and we are looking to turn it into a more permanent basis. And we're working on further grants right now, as far as obtaining further grants for that project.
That's awesome. So, education, walk me through some of the things that you're talking to moms about, or rather, walk me through some of the things that you're finding that moms are not aware of as they're going through this pregnancy journey and as
Mm.
they start to, prepare for postpartum.
I don't think a lot of them realize how important nutrition is. We had a really good turnout with our nutrition course, and this is not to say that everyone who's pregnant doesn't know how important nutrition is, but we are kind of coming to the realization that a lot of times they don't realize that something as simple as iron deficiency can be, it can be corrected with a plant-based diet. Um, you know, they have like preeclampsia. They don't really know what that might be and how diet can be related to that. They don't realize how stress can impact, pregnancy. And of course, if your nutrition is not on point in pregnancy, like that's really important. Now we have to really hone in on in postpartum, especially if you're breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're breastfeeding, we need to make sure our mamas are eating and eating properly, eating warming foods and healing foods, because that's part of not the now that's not to say that's the sole way to avoid postpartum or what we're now calling like perinatal mood disorders, which postpartum depression falls under that, postpartum psychosis falls under that, and nutrition is like super important.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I did a video, an interview with a clinician, a mentor and colleague of mine, Dr. Jessica Drummond, about pregnancy and postpartum nutrition. And one
Hmm.
of the things that typically tends to go unnoticed, doesn't it's not really paid much attention to, is postpartum thyroiditis and the changes that
Mm.
happen with the thyroid levels postpartum, which can mimic the postpartum anxiety and kind of look
Ah.
like the postpartum depression. So a recommendation of selenium
Mm.
as a postpartum supplement and even a prenatal supplement was very can help with that. And so little things like that as we're talking to moms, you're right. Like most people think, oh, you got to eat for two. You can eat whatever you want because you're pregnant. Your
Yeah.
excuse, all these things. And it's like, no, you are preparing your body for a journey
Yeah.
that doesn't stop
Yeah.
when the
And
baby
it
is
does.
born.
I was just about to say that it does not stop when the baby is born. That goes on forever, especially when you're
Hmm.
breastfeeding. I have known some of my friends and people that I've kind of connected with on like Facebook groups to say that their tooth cracked, tooth is falling out, and we're like, what is your calcium level like?
Hmm.
Are you eating? Are you eating? That's the first question. Are you eating? Oh, my breast milk is dipping. Are you drinking enough water? Sometimes they want to kind of run to what is it? I think fenugreek and fennel and this and that
Hmm.
to boost their milk. But it's like one of the first things you want to talk about is, okay, what's your hydration level like? Are you drinking
Hmm.
enough water? Are you eating enough nutrient dense foods? A lot of the foods, even hey, keep taking your prenatal, postpartum. Sometimes it can help you go that much further in avoiding a lot of issues that is being experienced in the postpartum stages.
Hmm. It's so true. It's so so true. And I think with that, you always got to mention, go for the low hanging fruit. Like, what are the things that I can change now before I start running for all the other stuff? Drink more
Right.
water.
Yeah,
Drink
yeah.
more water.
Sometimes it could be just that simple. Even trying coconut water for
Yeah.
those electrolytes that you might be missing
Hmm.
out on, and it's understandable. In postpartum, you have a new baby. People want to come visit you. First of all, put your visitors to work. Okay, if they want to come visit you, have them say, "Okay, great. Could you do a load of laundry? Could you do my dishes, please? If you're gonna come, please be useful. It's very important to be useful for our village. I
Hmm.
cannot stress that enough."
Can you bring some
Oh,
food?
bring some food, run a
Bring some
run an
food.
errand, go grocery
Hmm.
shopping, do
Don't come
something.
without food. Just bring some food. That was me when people would come to. Can you bring some food? Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Just bring some food. What do you need? Food. Just feed me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and these are things that I think that although they seem simple, or they seem simple enough, these are the ones that usually go missed, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
go unnoticed. Moms are like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. Well, let's talk about what you're eating. Let's talk about
Or what
let's
you're
talk
not
about that,
eating.
or what you're not eating. Yeah, let's
Right.
talk about that. And you mentioned a plant-based diet, which is very interesting because there has been some research on plant-based diets and different types of diets, and I oftentimes will recommend to a lot of moms as a pelvic floor therapist, when they're nearing the end of their pregnancy, let's ramp up. Even if you are a meat eater and you love your meat and you need your meat, let's ramp up
Mm,
the plant, because we
right.
really should be focusing in on more of a plant-based diet. I want to make sure that your bowels stay active. I want to make sure that
Yeah.
we're not constipated, right?
Right.
And
Super
I
important.
I advise that throughout the pregnancy because of those daggone iron tablets. Constipate everybody, and they were already
I've
constipated
heard. So
before.
I've heard.
They're already constipated. Now we're giving them iron. And
No.
I'm
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man. So and it's very, very important that people recognize the relationship between some of these things. So if I eat a certain way, what impact it's going to have on my body, or if I don't, what impact it's going to have on my body,
Right.
my mood, my energy levels, all these different things.
Yeah.
What about in our community here in Atlanta? What are you finding is might be lacking in terms of education for our moms, or resources rather for our moms?
Um, I feel like postpartum resources are still kind of lacking. They're out there, but for those who kind of have an obstetrician, and again, this is not to say this is all obstetricians, just because I'm familiar with midwives kind of making this a goal to make, when they do the home checks with their clients postpartum, they're doing more than one, and they're not doing it 6 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of obstetricians are seeing their clients like 6 weeks later. But so much could have happened
Yeah.
in that window. And she may have needed some postpartum care or some postpartum resources to keep her going. I feel like postpartum is definitely one of those things that's kind of lacking, unfortunately. It's
Mm-hmm.
getting there, it's getting better. And I feel like that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, how do you feel? What have you seen in your community as in terms of change in that? Do you feel like it's changed over the last few years? Do you feel like more people are becoming aware of
Mhm.
more things?
Yeah.
Whether through education, like what you guys are putting on, or otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And because, like I said, the mama talk is kind of one of the things that we would invite is like postpartum moms that come out and just share your experiences, especially we would have some pregnant moms there or some people who weren't pregnant. So I have never been pregnant, right? So I'm a doula, and sometimes people may find that surprising or not, but I don't have any children. So having these talks is helping me as well. It's helping me just as
Mm-hmm.
much as helping anyone else. Because in my opinion, I cannot have too much information, especially when it comes to pregnancy, labor, postpartum, especially because I want to have that journey as well. But I am seeing a difference. A lot of doulas are making themselves a full spectrum doula in which they don't just offer labor support services, but they are adding on like postpartum care services. And if they're not offering postpartum care services, they at least have some links to refer you to a postpartum doula, refer you to a postpartum network service, to make sure that these moms are getting this information because it's truly important. A lot of times in pregnancy, the first thing, they're thinking about, oh my God, my labor, my pregnancy, my labor, my pregnancy. And then, when I ask my clients like, hey, have you thought about your postpartum plan yet? What have you thought about that? And they don't really think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want moms out there winging it. We need you, or at least to have an understanding of where you can find certain information, at least so that you know where to start. Sometimes that's people's hardest problem, is like knowing, where do I even start with this?
Mm-hmm. But we only heard about the birth plan. Do I have to plan for after too?
Yeah, yeah,
So much work.
yeah. Hey,
That's what mamas
get
are
a
saying.
doula. That's why we have this
Mm-hmm.
sliding. Hey, this is why we have these services. We give you the 2 prenatal checks, we give you the 2 postpartum checks, and if we find that you need extensive services, we might tell you, hey, you might want to consider hiring a full-scale postpartum doula,
Mm-hmm.
at least for a couple hours a week at the least. So,
Yeah. And it's good to know that those services exist because a lot of people don't even know what a doula is.
yeah, it's
What?
getting better. It's getting better, I feel like, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of people are still kind of like, well, I know this is a midwife, but what is a doula? And we're like, no, not the same thing, but we
Even
complement each
even
other
the,
very
even
well.
in, even in the medical professions, just trying to
Yeah,
explain that to some of the medical professionals, the
yeah,
OBs, a lot of the GYNs, and
yeah.
even why it's helpful. And the research has shown that the presence of a doula can impact birth so significantly that it
Hmm.
decreases cesarean rates by 40%. And
Right.
we're already up there. We're already up in
Yeah,
Atlanta, or in Georgia rather, up beyond the national average. So
yeah,
that, I mean, that's a helpful statistic for anyone who is listening to be able to say, hey,
absolutely.
woman, let me look into this might be helpful, this might be good. Well, that's awesome. Well, what plans do you guys have? What projects do you guys have in the works that, for the community, for your mamas? I know you guys are also having people coming in from out of state to tune in to Mama Talks, and,
Hmm.
and some of the different workshops that you guys are putting on. So what other things do you guys have in the works to kind of, continue supporting the birthing community?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to making the pickle, so we have it called Pickle Pregnancy Information Circle Lunch. We're looking to offer that, on a permanent basis, maybe about 4 times a year. But we recently had a membership orientation for new people to join our collective, and someone brought up a really great idea in which she suggested, well, what about like post offering sliding scale postpartum services? And we were like, that's an awesome idea.
Hmm.
We can definitely put that table that for something that we can add to the services that we're offering to the community. But right now, our collective is quite small, but we're making big steps and taking big strides to changing things. And we said, hey, if you join our collective, like, maybe you can help us put that together. That'll be awesome. But at this very moment, unfortunately, we don't have the woman power yet, because we're a team of women. We're a team of women right now, but we don't have the women power to really churn out so many projects of that nature that's going to require our attention so much, because we are focused on like pickle and then adding some members. But we need right now, it's Sakisa and I managing the admin team. So right now we're a team of 2 until we can get more people on our team so that we can continue, hey, trucking along and adding these services. But we would love, I thought that was a really awesome idea, and we would certainly love to add postpartum sliding scale services in addition to the labor and pregnancy support services that we offer.
We shall talk.
So
we shall talk.
Right.
You might have another member. But I think that's awesome. And I think that, one of the things that you look at when you're able to impact a community is growth. How can I grow? How can I expand upon this? How can I continue to serve these people? I've served them. I've helped them to get to this point. Now what? How do I continue to do that for other people? And it sounds like you guys have really kind of dialed in on some of the things that you want to do and the ways that you want to serve moms and serve the community at large. And I love how it's just not, let's focus on pregnancy and birth, but it's let's focus on moms as a whole. Let's focus on the before the baby gets here.
And
let's
after.
focus on the during the baby coming and the whole journey of that. Let's focus on after, so that we have complete wellness, right? And like you said, I mean, even in the bio, change the narrative with regards to Black and brown maternal health. We don't need to be dying from stuff that we have no business dying from. We don't need to be, struggling with issues that are easily preventable through education nonetheless, right? So I think that is beautiful. I love your initiative. I love the work that you guys are doing. If women want to get in touch with you, whether it be for education, whether it be for your doula services, how would they do that?
The best way to do that is to start on our website. So it is atlantadoulacollective.org. And we have a subscription area where they can subscribe to our newsletters, but also they can take a look at the doulas that we currently have on our collective and see which doula they might want to hire as their doula on the sliding scale services that we offer. And if they need additional requests, they can also have the option of sending us in a message through our website. Honestly, our website is the best option. They can also tune into our social media platforms to see what current programs we have offering. We have, like I said, the Mama Talk. We have that about every 3 months, the third Saturday of each month. So that's like the next best way to keep in touch with us is through our website, subscribing to our newsletters, and then following our initiatives on social media.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what are your social media handles? How can people find you there?
Of course, right? We're on Instagram as Atlanta Doula Collective. We're on Facebook. You can, if you search for Atlanta Doula Collective, we should pop up, but it's facebook.com/ I believe ATL Doulas.
Okay.
But you can also, if that's hard to find, they can start off on our website, and there's like links to click everything out there.
Awesome. Awesome. That is wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for being here. I thank you so much for the work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I think it's beautiful to be able to meet people where they're at. And you keep hearing this phrase all the time, but COVID has hit a lot of people hard. And, we still want to be able to serve people. We still want to be able to serve moms. And I love what you guys have been able to do. I love what you guys continue to do in educating and being that resource and that support in the community. So kudos to you for all the work that you guys are doing. For sure. And it needs to be highlighted. So I'm just honored to be able to have the opportunity to highlight it here.
Thank you.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for being a part of our show. Guys, this has been yet another amazing episode. I told you she was awesome, ATL. I'm not going to be biased. This is me not being biased. But I thank you guys for joining us on yet another episode of VIPs in Action. As always, tune into us on YouTube/JMM Health Solutions, and find all the episodes there. We air every Monday, and we will be coming back with more amazing birth professionals. So stay tuned and stay locked to VIPs in Action. Take care, guys.
Thank you.